8, 7, 6, 5. All 3 engines up and burning. 2, 1, 0, and lift off.
Coach on Fire Radio.
T-minus 10.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Quantum Leap Your Future here on Coach on Fire and iHeartRadio. Once again, it's a Friday morning, and I'm thrilled to have you join me, and I'm looking forward to spending the next 30 or so minutes here with you today. And for those who don't know me, my name is Anna Anderson. I have had the privilege of being a trainer and a speaker and a coach now for over 20 odd years. And I am really lucky to be able to partner with really highly motivated entrepreneurs, aspiring entrepreneurs, those who are looking to uncover their next adventure, those that are getting ready to write that next chapter in their book, whether it be launching or growing a business or creating a lifestyle change. And I just love what I do and who I work with. So, while I don't know what's brought you here to my show today on Coach on Fire, I really want to start out by sending out to you a huge welcome to Quantum Leap Your Future, coming to you today again all the way from Nanjing here in China. At the moment, I'm based in China, and it looks like I'm going to be here for another year, which is awesome. And I love what I do, working with coaches and trainers and consultants from all over the world, and helping them take their life and their business to another level, because I just love people that stretch themselves and get out there and make things happen and don't just wait for things to happen to them. So, thrilled to be talking with you today. Let's jump straight into it. If you're here today, the theme for our show today is discovering your superpowers. Now, I bet you that 99% of you out there, when you hear the word superpower, you immediately think of characters jumping from tall buildings and superheroes from comics and action movies and TV shows. How many of us have stories from our childhood that, we could hang on every word? At a moment's notice, these normal everyday people turned into demigods in sexy outfits with supernatural powers, climbing tall buildings and conquering evil and saving the world. Is that the kind of superpower that you believe in, or that you think, that you need to be able to get out there and make things happen in your world? Well, if that's the kind of superpower you're here today looking for, then I'm going to say to you, flick the switch, you're in the wrong place. Because that's not the type of superpower we're looking for. We're looking at superpowers way closer to home. Superpowers that really define who we are and who we can be on the deepest level. We're looking at superpowers that are actually coming from within us. Not out there to save the world, superpowers in us to make our world more powerful. Because while we might be lacking superpowers like being able to be invisible or having telepathy or the ability to fly, today is all about each and every one of us exploring this unique superpower that we have. Do you believe you have superpowers? I believe I have superpowers, but they're very human superpowers. They're very personal superpowers, and they're unique to each and every one of us. And so today I want you to open your mind, and what I'm going to be talking about today might not be new for you. It may be a reminder for you. But I believe what we're going to talk about today, the superpower that we have and how we can use it today, it opens doors to better communication, better relationships, more clients, more sales, better sales, more profit in our business, and just a really great lifestyle. And it all comes down to us. And today it's all about discovering you. And I'm going to tell you your superpower, your personality. Yes, your personality. Your superpower is your personality. Now, you might not think that's anything, but it actually is, and that's what we're going to go into today, because your personality, your superpower, is what can have you make powerful life change, what can create change for you, what can help you work through change and what can get you to work with change to make the change just absolutely wonderful for you. Because how do I know this? Because it's a fact that the happiest, most productive people are those who have figured out how to harness the strengths of their personality, how to harness that inner ability they have and become who they truly are. And I've seen it globally, and I've seen it again and again. People that are just aligned and fully connected to their personality, to who they are, to their superpower, they just have a whole different energy around them. And that energy creates powerful life, powerful business, powerful change. And it's a total superpower that comes from within and only you have. And so a question for you today that I really want you to think about is, how well do you think you know yourself? Are you a great judge of others? Because John D. Mayer, author of Personal Intelligence, puts it very simply. He said in his book, Personal Intelligence, if you want to become your best self, and I'll add in here, whether it's in business or in life, it doesn't matter, even in your family and in your relationships, if you want to become your best self, then it's really important to tune into your personality. It's really important you tune into your personality as well as those around you. Now, just to be clear, personality is part of who we are. It's a means by which each of us go through life. Each of us chooses our life based on our personality. So understanding your personality, understanding the way you tick, is one of the number one things you can do to ensure you get much more out of your business and out of your life. And do you know what? I bet you already know this, or at least you have a fair idea of this. This won't be new to you. But then why do so few people actually do the work and look into understanding themselves more and more, and then looking at how they can use that knowledge, how they can use their unique self in a way to enhance their lives? Because we are so eager. We will invest in so many material things, but so many courses or programs or things like this to enhance our lives. But how many of us actually look into learning more about ourselves and seeing that we are the key, we are our superpower to change? Because I think there's three reasons, and it's my view only, so you can disagree with me totally, I don't mind you. But three reasons why I don't think we really look deep enough into this. Number one, and it's a biggie, none of us like to be judged. None of us like to be put into boxes. So when we look at personalities and looking at our personalities, then all of a sudden we see people being put into boxes and we don't like it. Number two, we all think we know ourselves pretty well. And you'd have to agree, we think, we know us. I know what I like, I know what I dislike, I know what I prefer, I know what I don't prefer. We all think we know ourselves pretty well. And number three, it kind of ties in. Too often we just accept that our personality is just part of who we are, that it's completely unchangeable and that's of no real significance. It's just us. We don't see it as a tool we can use to broaden our knowledge, broaden our experience and expand our lives. Now you might be able to tell I'm really passionate about this topic because I used to feel like this. I used to think these three things. That's why I could write them. Before I began my journey of self-discovery into this area of my own superpower, of my own personality and really getting to know me better, I thought pretty much all of the above that I've just said. I hated being judged. I thought I knew myself because, who else knows me but me? And I just accepted personality was just part of who I was and that was it. But then I took a deep dive and I learned more about my personality. I learned more about how my brain works and how I communicate. And guess what? That's when I truly learnt the meaning of that saying, you don't know what you don't know. I had an idea of what I didn't know in this area and the effect that it had on my life, both personally and professional, but I didn't know that it could just be taken to a whole new level. And I really, really love this topic. I really, really love watching people learn more about this topic, apply it in their lives, and just take their life or business, their career, their relationships, their families to a whole new level. And so I'd love today to be able to share with you a little bit about my story in this area. Because a few years ago now, quite a few years ago, we won't put a number on it, but a few years ago now, I was part of a team building exercise, and it was based on Myers-Briggs, the DISC theory of personality profiles. Now, this was the first time for me, and I had no effect at that time. I had no idea of the effect at that time it would have on me and on my life, right down to today, years to come. I remember it distinctly. I remember at that time how I felt learning about my type, my style, my personality. It totally blew me out of the water. It described me to a T, and I couldn't believe it. How did they know? At that time, the biggest benefit for me was to understand my own natural style, strengths and weaknesses. I stopped beating myself up for things that I couldn't do, and I really started to look at what I could do. At that time, I was working as part of a team, and most of the learning from that first workshop I ever went to in this area was applied more into the work and the team space, and it was a great place to see personalities in action in a business environment. So there was a lot of learning in that business environment. But come down a few years, and I began my own coaching and training business, and I was again introduced to personalities and to behavioural profiling. This time, however, it was through another tool. This tool was called DOPE. Now, I love the name, and it has other names. It's also known as the Platinum Rule or the Birds. But I love the name DOPE. It's kind of like that name that gives all sorts of connotations, and it always makes us laugh and think, just a little bit off track, off normal. And so I got introduced to this tool called DOPE. Now, the program wasn't as technical as the Myers-Briggs program, but it was a whole lot of fun, and it was so very, very simple. And it had a real effect on me then in my personal life. It had an effect reinforcing and expanding what I had previously learned. And I learned then that it's just a continual learning process. It's like a superpower that needs continually building because we change, and it just gets more powerful and powerful as we change and learn and grow more. And so I started doing more with DOPE. Now, this program really resonated with me. More about its simplicity, and maybe it was a little bit about where I was in my life at that time. Because what stood out for me from that training is why people just didn't get me. Why people just couldn't see the logic in what I said, and why so many people around me just totally drove me crazy, and probably a little vice versa. And I learnt through this DOPE program how using its concepts we could lessen stress and conflict, not just at work, but in our relationships, in all our relationships with other people, whether it was at home or within your family, within your marriage, everywhere. We could use this DOPE tool and what we learnt from it in every area of our life. And I left that workshop just full of enlightenment. I remember it. The strategies that it taught me to enhance my life and business were great, and yet more importantly at that time, it was the strategies that could help me at home. Because I remember going immediately home, and I completed it with my husband Mike. I sat him down and said, "You've got to do this. You've just got to do this. You will get this." I was so excited. Suddenly things became just a whole lot clearer why we have always known that we were different. It was so funny to go through the DOPE profile and to have what we thought about ourselves and each other spelt out on paper in front of us, in words we could understand and in visuals we could see. And I remember just having a whole lot of fun doing it together. At the same time, our daughters were heading into their teenage years, and both were so completely different. We all seemed to be at loggerheads all the time. And this program gave me hope. It gave me an answer to help me learn how to reduce stress at home. And it really helped me to see with my daughters that they weren't being difficult. They were simply different to me. Our communication styles, everything was different. And that one simple understanding